Hey, what's going on, ladies and gents? It's Richard Quo, and I received a request from one of my subscribers, Thomas Regsek, and he asks, how do I create my YouTube videos? So I'm going to break this down for simplicity's sake into 3 different parts for this video. The first part will be how do I create my weekly topics? So that'll be number 1. Number 2 will be what technology, what equipment do I use in my videos? And number 3 will be what is the process? So like when I speak, editing, everything like that. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with how do I create my weekly topics? So how I create my weekly topics is I typically, the first question I ask myself is, what did I learn this week? And usually every single week I learn something new because we're living every single week. And I think about what did I learn, and if I'm like, oh wow, that was a really good point, or this, I learned this and I learned that, can I turn that into a video? And I would say maybe like 30-40% of the time I create my video topics today like that. So how about the other 60-70% if I don't do that? I'll also think about kind of like phrases or things people said that stood out to me. Like this week is what is your gift? Like that was the topic that just popped out of my head out of nowhere, seemed like nowhere, and I think I got that from this concept because I'm preparing for a speech this Friday, and it's around love, self-love. So, and I thought about like what is my gift? Like what do I give to other people? And then I started thinking, well, how did I discover my gift in the first place? And I realized it was through like loving myself and accepting myself. So that's how it evolved into this question. One thing about my style is I try to do videos once a week, almost the day that I upload my videos. Why? Because I like to keep it very current, and it's almost, for me, it's like a diary. It's like a vlog of how I'm feeling every single week. Always. It's by the way, this is this video that I'm just uploading today is not this one because this is a bonus video, but the one before it is actually my 104th video, which means I've been doing it for exactly 2 years. So yeah, thank you all for subscribing and just following me. I love you. So the process of how I shoot my videos, after I create that topic, what I do is so I rearrange my room so I would have very little to set up every single week, and just make it as streamlined as possible. So what do? Here, let me show you the equipment I have and how it's set up. So my camera that you see right here, this camera sits in this corner right here when I'm not using it. So all I do is just drag it out here, and these soft boxes, they stay here, they don't move. So all I do is I just flip them this way and turn them on. And my recording device is like sitting right behind this laptop always, and I just have to bring it out. So very streamlined, makes it very easy for me. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the equipment. Wow, I'm just mixing everything together, but it works. Okay, so equipment. Right here you see everything I bought is like used or like discounted or something like that, free, something like that. Okay, so the camera I'm using right now, hold on, before I talk about my equipment, I have to tell you, you don't need anything fancy to get started. In fact, I just used this camera I'm using right now for my first few YouTube videos, and I used it for like over half a year, and it worked out perfectly fine. Okay, so here you go. I have fancy equipment because I record every single week, and I'm more dedicated, committed to doing this. Again, you don't really need it. Right here, that's a Canon 60D with a Sigma f1.4 f-stop 30mm prime lens. Total that cost me like $750. It was used on Craigslist. Tripod I bought for $15 on Craigslist. These light boxes, the only reason I have this is because I kind of got them, I worked for them or got them for free, whatever you want to call it, and they're not really necessary, but they allow me to shoot at night, which I'm doing right now. Okay, so this thing, I've borrowed this from my friend. He let me borrow for the past 2 years. He's awesome. Thank you, Kevin. And this is a Zoom H4n, great audio recording. Okay, so am I good with equipment? Yeah, we're pretty good here. Hold on. Okay, so just so you kind of get it here, let me give you a quick layout of my room. This is my bedroom. Yes, I know, I shoot in my bedroom. And as you can tell, this right here, this is kind of my office, my desk, and my workstation. You don't need any fancy backdrop. You could just use a white wall or just your regular room. That was fine. I used to do that with some of my videos. and it keeps them more real. I just have to have this cool looking backdrop because I, decorated my room a little bit, okay? All right, again, you can get started with whatever you have. Don't worry about how it looks. Okay, so I covered the equipment. Let's go back to the process. When I shoot my YouTube videos every single week, again, I got my topic. I'm like, okay, I got that. And what I do is I rehearse. When I say rehearse, I'll rehearse in my brain what is the message I want to give to you. And what I usually do is I think about, what's a message that I would like to hear when I was younger or even today. And then the next thing I do is when I record my videos, I try to think about one of my subscribers, every single week. I use Blake, shout out to you, a lot because you're always commenting and just really dedicated to my channel. So I think about one person and I try to speak to that one person always, and just focus on that one person, because I know everyone else behind this camera is going through the same exact thing or something similar of that sense. Okay. So process. I usually don't record myself for the first 2 times because it's just going to be a mess. I like to improvise everything off the top of my head, just go with the flow. And after I do the first 2 rough runs, I'll start hitting the record buttons, and usually it takes me between I would say 3 to 5 recordings to kind of get it solid. So in the first 3 to 5 runs, it's a lot of me just trying to talk through the information. And the reason why I re-record myself a few times is because I want to make sure that I at least I'm not wasting your time just thinking out loud, and that my words flow and they make sense. Sometimes my videos are done in 1 or 2 takes. If I'm just let's just do this. I balance and I do both, so you kind of get a perspective of what it's like when I just do it off the cuff, and also take a little bit more time to prepare. I try not to take too much time to do that. Now that my video is completely uploaded, one thing that's really important to me is I try to respond to every single comment, because I realize for myself, this is just a personal preference, but I believe that everyone's a human being, and if someone takes the time to leave a comment, as long as it's like a forwarding comment or they're actually asking for something besides just complaining, then I'll take the time to respond to it. Sometimes I'll respond to complaints if they're somewhat constructive. But sometimes they're just rants and there's just no point in taking that energy to do that. But anyway, I think it's great to just start building that community. So if you want to build your own YouTube channel, respond to all your comments, do collaborations with other people. You can do it with myself. I'm happy to do them. And if you have more questions about how I make my YouTube videos, feel free to reach out to me, drop a comment. I will respond, as long as YouTube comments are not funky. And thanks so much for watching. All right. What's going on, ladies and gents? It's Richard Ko, and this week we're going to talk about how do you find that special gift / talent that only you have. Because each one of us, we each have our own gift. We each have our own vibe that nobody else could replicate, because it is us. I am me and you are you. We are nobody else but ourselves.